Hey there, fellow travelers. It's Tim from Secret Fire Books, back with another book haul, kind of. I didn't actually get that much for this haul. I was running around with the family doing some errands, and I dropped into a few thrift stores and checked out what kind of books they had. So I got a few books, but not all that much. I did, however, get a couple books, which I'm going to talk about at length at the end of this video, because I have big plans for them. But first, I'm going to show off some other stuff. The first thing I picked up was this copy of Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now, I have never read Hitchhiker's Guide, even though it has been recommended to me ad nauseum by many different people, even those who don't usually read science fiction. Comes very recommended. This is not a particularly old copy. I think this is a 2005 edition. 2005 Del Rey copy of Hitchhiker's Guide. It has the goofy little green planet guy on the cover, so that's all I really care about. I will get to that eventually, at some point. Next, I picked up a Van Vogt. This is Salon by A.E. Van Vogt, one of his more famous novels. I really love that cover. That cover is gorgeous, but it is slightly marred by that big red band in the corner that says, 9th Big Printing. Who cares? Who cares it's the 9th Big Printing? If this was the first big printing, that'd be something to brag about, but it's not. It's the 9th. It's been printed 8 other times. Why do you need a band messing up this beautiful cover to tell us that? Ugh. Next, I picked up Poul Anderson, Satan's World. I don't know anything about this book, but I am a non-denominational Christian, and I was raised Baptist, so I'm pretty sure if I try to read this book, I will be smote with heavenly lightning. But I like what little I have read of Poul Anderson, so anytime I get the chance to add one of his books to my collection, I most certainly will. Who knows, it could be good. Next, I picked up another Jack L. Chalker, another part of his Soul Rider series. This is the 5th book in his series, the 5th and final book. This is The Children of Flux and Anchor by Jack L. Chalker. Again, I don't know anything about this series, but I do love the cover art. Very trippy, abstract cover art. It's a wraparound. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I also picked up The Iron Ring by Lloyd Alexander. Now, I have never read any of Alexander's other stuff besides his Chronicles of Bernayne series, which I love to death. But I do believe this is another... It's actually, I think it's a standalone middle grade fantasy book. And middle grade is fine with me as long as it's written well, and Lloyd Alexander knows how to write good middle grade fantasy. So I will trust that that is going to be pretty good. We'll see, though. Okay, now I'm going to say something that will probably take some points off my nerd card, but it does need to be said. I have never, in my entire life, ever watched an episode of Star Trek.
What is wrong? Whoa, what's wrong with you?
I know, it's awful. I'm an awful human being. How could I say such a thing? I've never watched Star Trek. I'm sorry. I'm sure that people are aghast. They're writing angry comments right now. I'm almost positive that Jake from Pulp Mortem is never going to let me live this down now. He's a big Star Trek guy, so I'm sure he's very angry with me right now. But, yeah, I've never watched any Star Trek, but I do know there are a lot of Star Trek novels. I know there are a ton of those. And while I was at Savers picking up some of those other books, I saw one shelf that was just stuffed with old pocketbook science fiction editions of Star Trek. And I thought to myself, I had this weird, crazy thought. I thought, has anyone ever gotten into Star Trek by reading the novels? Now, obviously, people have watched the show and they've gotten into it through the movies and whatnot, but has anyone ever gotten into Star Trek just by reading the novels? And so I picked up 2 of these. The first one I picked up was The Abode of Life, Star Trek The Abode of Life by Lee Corey. And as you can see, it's one of the Timescape books. I like that cover quite a bit. We got Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk. I think that's supposed to be Captain Kirk. Doesn't really look that much like William Shatner, but I think that's who that's supposed to be. I read the synopsis on the back. It seemed interesting enough. And the other one I picked up, I'm going to show you this cover, and you're going to, if you know me and you know my channel, you're going to know exactly why I picked this one up. Oh, it's because of that gorgeously ridiculous Boris Vallejo painting on the cover. This is The Shadow Lord by Lawrence Yep. Lawrence Yep, The Shadow Lord. Yeah, we got, looks like some kind of sword and planet action going on with Mr. Spock and Sulu. I only know his name is Sulu because it says so on the cover. We got them brandishing swords against these big alien bug-looking things, and it appears they've made friends with the guy from Greatest American Hero with his luxurious golden 80s perm. Oh, I thought that was awesome. So, yeah, I picked these two up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these books sometime this month. Right now, I'm in the middle of reading a Robert Jordan Conan novel. But as soon as I finish that one, well, actually, as soon as I finish that one, I got to read Cider, because that's the next book that we're doing for the Elusive Exclusive Book Society. But as soon as I'm done with Cider, I'm gonna choose which one of these books to read. I'll push that one ahead in my ever-changing TBR, and I'll read that Star Trek novel, whichever one I pick. And I don't know, we'll see if I can get into Star Trek just by reading the books. I'm sure that there are those of you who know your Star Trek that are thinking, Tim, that's an awful idea. Why would you ever decide to do it that way? Well, you know what? Don't tell me what to do. I like books, and I want to get into Star Trek, so why not? It's a fun little social reading experiment. So, yeah, you can look forward to me talking about Star Trek on this channel sometime soon. But until next time, guys, as always, farewell, and keep reading. And live long and prosper. I think that's yes. That's the Vulcan thing. Take care, everybody.
I know what you are planning, sir. I will not be surprised.
What are you talking about? Tracy!